Hello everyone, my name is Clantis and welcome to the Clan. So without further ado, let's get into this video. But before we get into the video, please do me a favor, do us a favor, do all the people that are not members of the clan a favor by smashing the like button, because you guys know that the algorithm is responding very positively. Let's continue on this trail, guys, because we are doing well when it comes to the subscribers. As you can see, they are flowing in. And if you are new on this clan, welcome. You are welcome, like warmly so. Thank you so much for choosing us. Here, you are not going to regret why you joined. So anyways, guys, let's continue with the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. So at the North Gauteng High Court, at the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, it is very interesting. As you guys know, that I think the judge is still there where I thought he was on Friday. Okay, it is understandable that at this point the state had just called its new witness, which we are going to get to right now, because the sister is shaking like a leaf. You know, when you lie, your voice has a tendency of shaking. But when you're telling the truth, you tell the truth with confidence and your voice is firm. But why is this witness is shaking? I'll tell you why. Because she came there to tell a fib, fabrication, a lie. And that is why she is shaking like a leaf. So before the witness took the stand, Advocate Baloyi stood up and then he made two submissions where he submitted two prelim aspects. The first aspect was about Duprier, that Duprier has actually compiled all the data that he's going to need in compiling the AVL report, and that he's going to be ready on Thursday to continue with his testimony. But let me read it to you as he has said it. He said, Mr. Duprier, the expert, has indicated that he has assimilated all the data that will enable him to compile a further report. He further said that he indicated that he will be ready to continue with his testimony on Thursday, the 23rd of November. I'm quite surprised that this compilation took this quick. I had given him 2 weeks because I thought he was going to do a thorough job. You know, like you do a job and then you go back again, and just to make sure once again, and then maybe even get some kind of advisory elsewhere, like a friend of their company, whatever the case is. Like, do you read the same thing that I'm reading? But apparently he is ready to continue with his testimony now with a compiled report of these points in the AVL that, of course, I think those are the status of the report that he would have gotten from the state. And I must say that Baloyi sounded very chirpy this morning. He sounded happy, like, yeah, the AVL or that report, I don't know what he and Duprier were able to talk about over the weekend, because he sounded rather confident. But then again, to confuse the enemy, you got to also sound like there's nothing to fear here. Why? And then the report is read out and you're like, okay, judge, you still have my back, right? Right? Okay, now let's go. That's how it sounded like when I was listening to Baloyi this morning. The second aspect was updated list, and I was like, oh, here we go again with new information, new evidence, and all of that is going to be dumped on the defense, and the defense now will be forced to ask for adjournment. But again, let me read his second aspect. He said, we have updated the list of exhibits which were also submitted to the defense. What's new is on page 6. Of course, we don't have the bundles as the clan, but I'm just going to say whatever I think he was trying to say here. The first one was photos on page, like photos 8 to 11. That is the stuff that the driver already referred to in court. The second one was AVL records. The third one, AVL printout by AVL expert Mr. Duprier, dated the 1st of June 2020, 5th June 2020, 16th June 2020, 18th June 2020, 19th June 2020, and 20th June 2020, which got Judge Rata asking Baloyi, what about the 31st of May? And then this is when Advocate Baloyi was just paging through, looking, and I'm like, just tell the truth, sir. And then eventually told the truth, like, listen, I only have these ones that I just read out to the court, but if it's necessary, yes, it is necessary, he will get that of the 31st of May, 2020. Just very funny. Then I asked myself, it's very convenient that the AVL report and printout of the 21st and the 22nd, dollar. What are they hiding on those particular ones? Whatever vehicle that they use alternatively on the 21st and the 22nd, I know they said that particular vehicle is not fitted with AVL. From what I understand, that every police vehicle that is utilized by the police must, the operative word here is must to have the AVL system installed in the vehicle. Otherwise, how will the state be tracing where its resources are going to? So it's quite interesting to hear that, and I think the judge will, in his judgment, when it comes to the 21st and the 22nd of June, he needs to make a very scathing, remark on that, because that is hiding something. What are you hiding? Because I don't believe that vehicle was not used on the 21st and the 22nd. I'm talking about the Toyota Fortuner that goes to service, and then while it's busy operating, it breaks down several times. The other thing that I wanted to know was the vehicles that accompanied them all over these places, where are their AVLs? Because I think they will actually confirm or disconfirm, if there's such a word, whatever the defense is saying, or especially in Danzi is saying that, oh no, we didn't stop here, or when we stopped here, this is what was happening to me. Let's get the AVLs of all the vehicles involved, including the so-called SWAT unit. So this is when Baloyi responded by saying, as far as he has it, he only has submitted the ones with the dates that he's already submitted to the court. He says, I only have up to the 20th of June, 2020. Then Baloyi continued to submit more of the updated aspect, where he says, logbook of vehicle registered of the Toyota Fortuner used by Sergeant Moerane for the period of the 30th of May to the 19th of June 2020. Now, what happened to the 20th of June 2020? Interesting. Which were formally submitted, or which were formally admitted according to Section 220 of Act 51 of 1977. The second thing he was submitting was Nongoma case abstract of 2018 regarding QB Buthelezi. This is an abstract, I believe, that Advocate Mngomezulu had used to confirm the correct suspect in the Nongoma case. And then he continued to say dental records for Bongani Ntanzi dated the 22nd of June 2020 from Hlabani Dental Services. He continued to say confidential notes of cases being investigated by Sergeant Moerane. The judge wanted some clarification on these notes, if there's been cross-examination on them, and Baloyi said no, there was no cross-examination thus far on them. They are still outstanding. This is what the judge continued to ask Baloyi, and Baloyi said yes. Then Advocate Baloyi continued to say Advocate Mshololo cross-examined Sergeant Moerane, referred to a form SAPS 3M. It's a warning statement regarding interview with suspect. And I still say there is one document that the defense team seems to also forget to ask for, which is the arresting statement. Where is the arresting statement? Please ask for that. Remember, Advocate Baloyi said he was going to submit those from the investigating officers. Please don't forget to ask for them. And then he continued to say that he clarified it with Advocate Mshololo this morning that it has not been formally handed up as an exhibit in court, meaning the warning statement. You know, Advocate Mshololo is I think if I was a lawyer, I would do exactly what she does with Section 35.5 of the Constitution, because that is very important. And I was listening to the current witness talking about it, and I'm like, ma'am, but we'll get why I was saying, ma'am, you are lying. Then when Advocate Baloyi was done with those two aspects, submitting it to the court, then he called his next witness, and his next witness name is a Sergeant Batubakai Belina Mokgola, or Mokgola, aka Mamfundisi, according to the alleged hooligans who assaulted, tubed, electrocuted accused number 2, that is Bongani Ntanzi, as well as accused number 1, which is Muzi Sibiya. And this first segment of the testimony of the new witness was on Muzi Sibiya. And there are so many contradictions that I was listening to when it came to her testimony, because this is her evidence in chief. And Baloyi's witnesses have the tendency of saying things on the evidence in chief, and then they would listen to the cross-examination, and now they want to do corrections. The number of mistakes as well that were being made under oath, I know, man. I thought at this point the judge would be like, but then why are you submitting things that have incorrect dates, incorrect evidence, incorrect names and surnames of investigating officers? But then again, this is Rata Mokgotleng. I'm still saying, I stand by what I said on Friday, that I think he's kind of like getting it now. He's kind of like reminded, like, by the way, I'm a judge, I'm not a prosecutor, and I'm also not a defense attorney. So let me just shut up and be neutral. And I think he's doing a good job thus far. Even when he did interject today, I felt that his interjections were still justifiable. The clarities that he wanted to get when Advocate Mgomezulu stood up on objection, I thought that was brilliantly done. Even when Advocate Mnisi stood up regarding some relevance of why we're talking about drugs when they're supposed to be talking about the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. And I thought the judge was going to shut him down, but he did not. Instead, he entertained Advocate Mnisi by basically getting to Baloyi like, bro, and then Advocate Baloyi quickly abandoned the whole line of drugs and then focused on the matter at hand. Sort of. I did see some people asking, why are they talking about drugs and live ammunition instead of talking about who killed Senzo Meyiwa? Well, in a prosecution, I believe that the first thing they need to get to the court is your personality, your character, which is, I think it's called character prosecution. That this accused individual is indeed a criminal, or at least has criminal mind or conspiracy to commit crimes, and therefore they have to talk about the drugs and the live ammunition that was found in his room and other cases that he may be involved in. Basically, is to discredit this particular accused, so that the court has no doubt in his mind that they actually got the right person because of behavior and habits. That is why your habits are very important. What you do, people are watching. In case something happens and then you are found as a witness, they are going to do some character prosecutions that you will have to confirm about that particular person, all being confirmed about you. So that is why they are doing what they do. They're bringing up all these drug cases and unlicensed firearm and unlicensed live ammunition, character prosecution. They are painting a picture that this is indeed a dangerous person. So that is why you are having what we are having so far, and not touching on the Senzo Meyiwa murder, which they are actually accused of. So Advocate Baloyi then told the court, or submitted to the court, that Mokgola is going to testify in the aspect of exhibits that he mentioned in court. We don't have the bundles, so we don't know what those exhibits are except the alphabetical order that he read them. So all in all, I think there were about 6 or 7 exhibits that he was talking about, which also included a confession done by Colonel Mboto. And she will also refer to photos taken during pointings out by Colonel Radebe. She will also be referring to the OB entry of the 19th of June 2020 in respect of accused number 1, and added OB entries as mentioned in the bundles, which we don't have, that we don't have as a clan. The defense is furnished with these documents, submitted Baloyi to the judge. The judge was like, okay, I hope the defense will throw him under the bus. So eventually, the new witness was sworn in. As I've said, guys, her name is Batubakai Belina Mokgola. And then she continued because Advocate Baloyi wanted to know her career or her career history. But before she got to the career history, she's the one who gave some parts of who she is. And it was quite interesting how she's all confident in the beginning. And as when she started telling the lies, you would swear she's just recovering from laryngitis because the voice just kind of like, the graph just plateaus. And with her, it was shaking. That's how the graph looked like whenever she told a fib. And I was like, sister, just tell the truth. I get it that you are not going to admit that in your or under your watch, accused number 1 was abused. He was assaulted. He was done all the things that he was done to that he already told the court, to a point where he messed himself. You're not going to admit to that. But the least that you can do is tell some sort of truth that is going to help you as Umamfundisi. And as she was talking, and I was like, I don't think hell is going to be full of the people we think, myself included, are going to be there. I think it's going to be a bunch of... Anyways, let's leave it there. I'm not going to hell, okay? So guys, let's meet the witness, Miss Mokgola. So she started off by saying her name is Batubakai Belina Mokgola. She said she was comfortable testifying in English. Mokgola is a sergeant in SAPS, South African Police Service, under National Cold Case Unit, which it is, the commander is Brigadier Gininda, and she's been a police officer for the past 18 years. And then Advocate Baloyi said, okay, please tell us your career history. Once again, she kind of like repeated some of the things, but I'm going to go through them. She said she joined the SAPS in 2005, underwent basic training, field training, and probation, meaning that the first 3 months or first 6 months, they wanted to check if indeed she fits being in the SAPS. In 2007, completed training and appointed as a constable in the SAPS. She continued to say she was placed in Katlehong Police Station, where she did visible policing, which included being posted at the Client Service Center. CSC. Number 6, she said that she was also placed in crime prevention, where they attended to complaints in communities. She continued to say in 2013, she was transferred to provincial head office in Gauteng under detective service, and she was then placed in taxi violence investigation team, task team. In 2014, she was selected to do projects in high-profile cases, and then she continued to say she was transferred to the head office. This is the South African Police Service head office. I think it's in Pretoria, which is run by the South African Commissioner of Police. Yeah, she does say that where this unit, the provincial unit in doing these high-profile cases, was moved to the head office. And then she continued to say this is where the National Cold Case Unit was established in 2018. I was like, oh, it's that recent? I always thought we had a cold case unit since the start of, SAPS, because if I remember very well, do you remember South Africa's greatest profiler, Piet Belleveld? Wasn't Piet Belleveld coming from the cold case unit? I was very surprised that it was only established in 2018. I know this because I do true crime in another channel called The Iron Bars. And then I know that Piet Belleveld was part of the cold case unit. Whenever the police service had an issue or problem in solving a crime or crimes that have been committed maybe 5-10 years ago and they still haven't caught the perpetrator, Pete Bellefeld came through and then he would do the profiling and then catches the serial killer. She continued to say its mandate is to investigate the stagnant and unsolved cases and to assist other investigators at the stations or other units to come to a conclusion of their investigations. She's still a part of National Cold Case Unit to date. And then she confirmed knowing the stood down witness, which is Sergeant Mokgola, and he also is part of the Cold Case Unit, and they've worked with each other since the days of the provincial office where they did like these special cases or the high profile cases, as she had put it. And then she was asked about her familiarity with the Tembisa case, which is the Muzi Sibiya case. She says she is very familiar with the Tembisa case, speaking about the accused number 1. Well, not to bore you guys, you already heard the testimony about how Muzi Sibiya was arrested. We heard it from Khatebe. We also heard it from Buthelezi. So basically what she was coming to do is to regurgitate all that testimony. However, though, there are some few things that I picked up that I want to talk about that she mentioned that was new evidence to me, and other omissions that I felt they were so important, particularly under Section 35(5) of the Constitution, which is the rights of a detainee or an arrested person. So she does say that she got this case in November of 2019, brought to her by Gininda, and then she did some extra investigations around the subject that is mentioned in the docket. And then when she was done with the outstanding investigation, she took this case to for decision, and then apparently it was decided that, yep, go make an arrest. A warrant of arrest was issued for Muzi Sibiya. And then she says she then put together a team of people that are going to identify or help her find accused number 1. And I thought it was under intelligence from what I heard from Buthelezi as well as Moerane. But now the investigating officer in charge of this case of Muzi Sibiya does not mention anything about her investigations working with a crime intelligence. That's the first thing I took note of. The second thing that I took note of is the charges. She says that Muzi Sibiya was arrested on drugs. And then when they did the arrest and they went into his house, if you remember, Buthelezi basically taking us through the whole process where he mentioned that since he comes from the SWAT unit, now remember, Buthelezi comes from the EMPD, Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department, where they had a special unit called SWAT unit, SWAT. Yeah, the kind that the FBI in the United States have. I don't know if they work together, or I don't know. Anyways, that's the sort of SWAT he's talking about. And if you remember Buthelezi's testimony, he said when they made an arrest, what did they do? They use, I don't know what tactic, what that is going to confuse the suspect and things like that. Tell me why this particular witness is not mentioning anything about that, but instead she says she called Mr. Buthelezi on the 30th of May 2020 to assist her in making an arrest. And so eventually on the 31st, I suppose on the 30th, they went to Tembisa because the suspect was spotted in Tembisa, and the suspect was with two other people. If you remember, Buthelezi understand you was adamant that it was only 2 of them. This witness says it was 3 of them. Muzi says there were 3 of them. And I'm like, what exactly is the correct one from the witnesses of Baloyi? That's the first contradiction as well. And then she says that she drove down the road a little bit, but she passed them and called Buthelezi and his alleged hooligans to come and make the arrest. as she's kind of like slowed down the road, and she looked through her rear view mirror and saw that Buthelezi and his crew had already approached the accused. She did a turnaround or a U-turn and parked facing the traffic, and she took the J50, which is the warrant of arrest, and then she basically read it to Muzi Sibiya, and then read him his Section 35 rights, that he has the right to remain silent. Anything he says can and will be used against him in a court of law if he doesn't have a lawyer. He has a right to a lawyer. If he doesn't have one, the state will provide one at his expense. And in my mind, I'm like, Buthelezi said that tackle that they do, it will confuse the living daylight out of the suspect. So now, while he is busy, confused, and wondering what's going on, you are reading him as what you call this SAP S14A, and he understands those rights. Why in a state of confusion? Come on. That is not a person who agreed that they understood this, their rights. It made no sense to me at all, ma'am. It absolutely made no sense. And then when she was saying this particular part of her testimony, her voice was shaking like a leaf. Every time she would say something along the lines of a fib, her voice would shake or it would dip, meaning that she is actually lying. If she had like lie detector things attached all over her, that thing will be jumping like nobody's business, indicating that she is lying. So it was very interesting as well to hear that on the charge sheet, the charge was of live ammunition and drugs, but it was of an illegal firearm. And she's making correction under oath. I was like, get the story straight, ma'am. What is exactly charged of? And the mistakes that were also in the OB book. And I was like, why are you always blaming the typists? Same thing with Musiya, same thing with Zungu, same thing with, I can't remember who else, I think it was Rapudu, blaming the typists for things that they did not say in the charge sheet. I was like, this is not right. Come on, don't make the court a fool. I think the court picked that up anyways. The interesting part about this witness's testimony was that after they've made the arrest on live ammunition, it led them to Vosloorus. And I still say in Vosloorus, the person that we're going to or for was Gwabini. If it was not Gwabini, it was Zungu himself. Because I think there was some sort of a line where it said the person or the gun or the weapon that actually, or the murder weapon of Senzo Meyiwa is in Vosloorus in the Sutwini hostel. Who lives in Sutwini hostel? Because accused number 1 lived in Tembisa, accused number 2 lived in Northwest. So who exactly was living in Sutwini hostel that they had gone to after arresting accused number 1 with, I believe, planted evidence? The drugs were planted. The ammunition, I believe, was planted. So I still suspect that it was either Gwabini or Zungu. She says that when they got to Vosloorus, it then led them to Msinga, KwaZulu-Natal. I was like, that's new information. We'd never heard about Msinga before. What we know is that when they asked Muzi Sibiya about where he comes from, he gave them the address of Nongoma, and they went to Nongoma, and they returned the following day to confirm that indeed he's from KwaNongoma. And then she kept mentioning cases that accused number 1 was attending in 2020, and I kept wondering, okay, you're talking about cases that he was attending in court. What were their outcome? We are in now 2023. There is no way that these cases are still ongoing. Otherwise, justice delayed is justice denied. What's happening there? And it was very interesting that she was not placing these outcomes in the records of this particular court. So her testimony then spilled over to accused number 2, which is Bongani Ntanzi. And this is, anyways, towards the wrapping up of the day. But they were stuck on what accused number 2 told them about a steal site. And Advocate Baloyi said something about a steal site, and this is when Advocate Mgomezulu said, no, that is incorrect information. The steal site was the second location, not the first location from Alphabet, from Alberton. And so there was a little bit of a back and forth until I believe this is the state's other lawyer found found the record. I think it was under page 21 or 22, where then Advocate Baloyi read what Advocate Mgomezulu said in his cross-examination of Sergeant Moerane. But at the end of the day, still, this particular individual, which is Ntanzi, I believe he was assaulted. And I believe that the AVL, whatever the debate was about the steal site, is going to be confirmed by the AVL record, meaning the report that is coming on Thursday. So I'm like, was that Thursday? Remember, was a weekend? Was it was a weekend or was a Friday? What was it again? It's like, was a Thursday for me. That's what I was saying. Was a Thursday. Because this little debate that was taking place in court between Advocate Mgomezulu and Baloyi and the judge, I felt that the judge, indeed, he needed to get clarity so that it will assist the court exactly what the defense was objecting on, and then what Baloyi was cross-examining the witness in her evidence in chief. So the AVL record or report is going to clarify that. That's what I thought. And I'm like, was it Thursday? So it's not a train smash. I don't know what it was for you, but for me, it was neither here nor there, as Baloyi would say. So currently, they are now on Ntanzi. Now we're going to hear the continuation of the testimony tomorrow at 10 a.m. And I keep saying, Judge, you never start at 10 exactly. Why don't you just say around 10? I think that will make sense. Anyways, guys, that is what happened in court today. My thoughts, we have another liar on the stand. And possibly, I hope to God, she's really not a pastor or a wife of a pastor, if she indeed is called Mamfundisi. I don't know why she's called Mamfundisi, because I cannot imagine what kind of a Christian person would, I get it, it's a job, but I still think people still need to see God in you, in your work, in your personal life, in your marriage, in your family life, in your children's life. We need to see that. I need to be convinced that I'm looking at a woman of God. If this is what you do, I'm sorry. Sobas maningi shem. Sobas fry wa. Anyway. Anyways, guys, if you like the video, give it a like. If you didn't like the video, give it a like. Anyways, do subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget to click the bell notification so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everybody that's super thanking the channel and supporting it financially. I highly appreciate you guys so much. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know, what did you think about the new witness that is on the stand? Do you think she's telling the truth? Of course. The lies will continue as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not going to hell. And then, guys, when you come across other YouTubers' channels, please watch and like their videos and subscribe. Please share this video far and wide as well. And don't forget to smash the like button and watch the ads. Thank you all so much for watching. See you next time with a new video. Goodbye.